In the last 365 days, I've eaten almost 3,000 eggs. That's 8 eggs per day, 56 eggs per week, 240 a month. Since I changed my diet back in 2023, they've been a massive staple in my life, and I literally eat them every single day. Even if I'm away from home and traveling, I'll always end up having them. They're literally one of the most versatile foods on the planet, and you can literally have and cook them in so many different ways. So why do I have them every day? What's so good about eggs that causes me to almost consume 3,000 per year? Before I tell you all the benefits, I just want to share my own opinion and observations on them since I started doing this 2 years ago. Since I've started eating them, I 100% feel like I have more energy. I feel as though I don't get brain fog after I have them, which is something I've experienced from other food. They make me feel ready to go, and more importantly, they help me stay full for longer. I never feel like I'm limited with them, and every time I eat one, I feel like I'm injecting a shot of testosterone into my body. Hands down, my favourite way to have them is fried, and it goes even harder on top of some sourdough with a fresh glass of raw milk. They are my current pre-workout and breakfast every single day, and I wouldn't change it for anything. They are also a big reason as to how I lost a lot of body fat and gained so much muscle over a short period of time when I first started cleaning up my diet and eating eggs. I literally went from a guy who looked like he'd never been to the gym before to a guy you could look at and actually respect. The more eggs I eat, the more energy I feel I have. Right, so enough of me rambling. Here's why I think you should start eating eggs every single day. If you take the time to look at the evidence, you will come to understand how powerful eggs truly are for male health in terms of building muscle ability, improving hormones, and overall health. They are such a nutrient-dense food to the point where, to get the amount of nutrients in eggs from other foods, you would need to consume a heinous amount of food just to make up for the lack of nutrients. This will cause you to be in a massive calorie surplus, and you'll probably end up becoming overweight and fat. The only other foods that come close to the nutrient density of eggs are red meat and liver. And one of the biggest deficiencies in the world is choline, which is super underrated yet super important at the same time. It is believed that around 90% of people are deficient in choline. Think about that for a second. 90% of people are deficient in one of the most important nutrients for your cognitive function, the ability of lowering inflammation, keeping your liver stable by stopping fat buildup. I could go on, but the important functions in your body require choline. Furthermore, the protein in eggs is superior in terms of the anabolic effect they have on you. This means the ability of the eggs to build muscle is far greater than other foods. Why? Because the bioavailability of eggs is higher. This means that your body is able to use more protein from the eggs than other foods. But Luke, what about the cholesterol in eggs? If I eat too many eggs, my cholesterol is going to increase. It is commonly believed that the consumption of eggs will increase your cholesterol, and that you will also increase the chance of your arteries becoming blocked and ultimately leading to a heart attack and other health complications. But what if I told you this is all a hoax? What if I told you you've been deceived for years? What if I told you you've been fed lies? What if I told you that the information that is spread was a massive trick to ruin the health of men and force them to seek medical advice and spend money on fat doctors that can't even run a 5K? Would you believe me? Or would you call me a conspiracy theorist? I'll let you in on a little dirty secret. Dietary cholesterol does not increase cholesterol. You see, when you eat cholesterol, the cholesterol binds with a receptor on the gut cell and releases a hormone called cholecin. The cholecin then binds to another receptor in the liver called G protein coupled receptor 146, or GPR146 for short. And this inhibits internal cholesterol synthesis. And to put that in bro science terms, it essentially stops your body from making its own cholesterol. This then results in your liver making less cholesterol itself, pulling more LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, out of your blood, which in turn lowers your risk of heart disease. You see, the cholesterol we eat has no impact on our overall cholesterol in our body. However, the myth of eggs increasing cholesterol is still widely believed, and even I believed it when I first started eating eggs. I remember I sat down for breakfast with a plate full of 6 eggs, and both my mum and dad said to me, "Isn't that really bad for your cholesterol?" This is one of the biggest myths known to man that will unfortunately circulate on the internet forever. And by the way, 20% of your brain is made from cholesterol, so we need it. However, this is only if you are healthy. If you already have issues, if you don't regularly exercise, if you have a ton of inflammation, then anything you eat will have a negative impact on your body and give you a hard time. The reason it's so easy to find studies and evidence to support eggs increasing cholesterol, the people who experience this increase in cholesterol are not eating the right foods in the first place. They aren't getting regular exercise. They aren't eating enough antioxidants. They aren't eating enough fruits and veggies. You can't zoom in on a singular blade of grass and assume that just because this person did that and they got this, therefore this must cause that. No, you need to zoom out and look at the entire field, not just a singular piece of grass. It's crazy to think I could go to McDonald's, buy a couple of burgers and a couple of boxes of fries, and no one would say a word, or even bat an eye about what I was doing, or have anything to say about the negative impact this food will have on my body. But the moment you bring out 6 eggs and start eating them, everyone around you turns into a doctor and tells you that eating eggs is terrible for you and will increase your cholesterol and that you're going to die from a heart attack. The problem isn't the eggs and the cholesterol, it's the lack of education most people have. But to summarize, the reason you should be eating more eggs is that they are one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, with the ability to help you build stronger and bigger muscles while also increasing your hormone production, such as testosterone, one of the most important hormones to optimize as a man. Personally, I recommend you start having at least 4 a day, with a good number being around 6, but feel free to have as many as you like, assuming you're already a healthy individual who eats a balanced diet and gets regular exercise. And oh yeah, you can thank me later when you look better, feel better, and perform better.